As many people grow up, family ties can often be taken for granted, but for people growing up in foster care, there's a different need to form connections and build community even as adults. That's the main reason behind the mass network of foster care alumni. To tell us about the organization and its walk in June are two alums, the network's program manager, Grace Hilliard-Koshinsky, and Boston City Councilor Tito Jackson. Thank you both very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
I want to start with Grace. Who qualifies as an alum exactly?
That's a great question. And because the term foster care alumni is so new, it's very much in its infancy across the country and the world, the definition of who's included is not widely known. Terms that may be more familiar to people include ward of the state or orphan, both of whom are what we would consider to be foster care alumni. And so we're walking in June so that we can reshape misconceptions about who's included in the definition, to let people know that those of us who were in group homes or were in foster home settings are alum. Those of us who transitioned from foster care at or after the age of 18 are alum. Those of us who are like myself and Councilor Jackson, who were adopted from foster care, are also foster care alum. And those of us who were in kinship care, which means you were removed from your home of origin and maybe placed with an aunt or an uncle or grandparents, are alumni as well. That's a lot of people.
Councilor, you've been blessed with a great adoptive family, but talk about your need to be part of this network.
Yeah, so this is about inclusion, addition, and really about family as a whole. And there's this connectivity there. Adoption actually doesn't instantly happen. And so I was born at Boston City Hospital, but I wasn't adopted until I was 2 months old. And so there was a time in between there where I was actually in foster care. And in fact, the social worker who placed me was Marilyn Anderson Chase, who was actually the former Assistant Secretary of Health and Human Services. She actually has a picture of me like this big. And I think the real issue here is that people need to be seen. They need to be heard, and they need to understand that they're not alone, and their experience is one that is common, that connects us all. And I really think that this is really about who we are as a community, because this is really the social safety net. This is when it doesn't always work out. Some things happen, but we have a great and amazing group of families and loved ones who actually step up and make sure that we're able to make it through. You get to be as amazing as this young lady here, or they could actually be as cool as you, Chris. And so that's really what this is about. And also to come out of the darkness. There's at times people feel ashamed. That there was something that was quote unquote not normal with their family. By the way, when it comes down to it, this all is the definition of family and who and what we are. And I believe this is all about love and the fact that we were all able to make it to the point that we're at today. And that's really why we stand. And on June 17th, while we will stand and walk, and we'll walk even more.
Grace, what's the importance of being able to link up with other people who've experienced foster care?
During an event that we had recently, two alumni actually realized that they'd known one another since kindergarten and were unaware that the other had been in foster care. And it's because of the experiences that we've had and the community that we're building that people will know they're not alone. We're walking to celebrate our successes as well as support those of us who are struggling.
Councilor, in your life, you can talk, and I've heard you talk, very well about the family that adopted you. But there comes a time, and there have been situations when you've talked about, well, what happened before that, and it's not nice to hear, but I guess sometimes you got to bring it up.
So I have been very transparent about the fact that my mom was 13 and she was sexually assaulted by 2 men, and I think that's an important part of the work that I do. With organizations like Dove and also the Boston Area Rape Crisis Center, which are amazing organizations that I think men need to step forward on. But the thing, there was difficult times, but the amazing piece for me is that she made an amazing decision to allow me to be adopted. and then also there were individuals in between who actually helped me through foster care. And so I think it's the connective tissue that we're celebrating. And we're celebrating that folks are still in need of foster care as well as being adopted. My parents also, I do need to note, my mom, Rosa Jackson, and Herbert Jackson, they had 54 foster kids who went through our home also, in addition to the 4 that were adopted. So I have many brothers and sisters who have this connection, and really look forward to reaching out to them to bring them as part of this June 17th connection.
This is BNN News, and we're talking with Grace Hilliard-Koshinsky from the Mass Network of Foster Care Alumni and Boston City Councilor Tito Jackson. Grace, tell us about the walk that you're having on June 17th.
Well, we're walking because
Well, I guess you want people to be more aware of, who are people who are foster care alums, and you want to get over some misconceptions of who they are too, right?
Yes, I would never have known that about you is a common phrase that people express when they learn that I too am a foster care alum. And I believe that this stems from preconceived notions about who we are and who we will become. And as a result of that, I think that there are so many other people out there who have assimilated this into their experience and gone on to live their lives, and largely possibly not even talked about their experiences with their own children, with their family, with their partner or spouse. So we're walking because we all need mirrors of our experience, people who look like us, who have been through what we've been through, in order to know that success is possible.
And you do feel like family when people like that.
Yes, chosen family.
Right. This
is my sister.
Exactly.
If you didn't know Chris, this is my sister.
That's right. Classmate, as it were. We know this is June 17th in Boston Common, and exactly what time is this going to get underway?
Registration opens at 9. The program will begin at 10, and we will walk at 10:30. We're walking 1 mile around the Boston Common. Registration, there's no cost to register for the walk. We encourage anyone to join us, especially allies, those who support and walk with us in our everyday lives, our friends, our family, our colleagues at work. To show up in solidarity.
And I think it's also it's really interesting, ironic, and important that we're walking around a place that's called the Common. And there's something common and connecting in our experience and the fact that we can make it. And this is really also about not leaving folks behind.
Right.
And there are individuals who are still struggling in this space, and we want to. If you can see it, then you can absolutely be it. And I think you have an amazing example right here. And that common bond is something that I believe can be very encouraging to individuals. And I want to thank this young lady right here for the great work that she has done in leading this. This has not been done in Massachusetts, and I'm not aware of any other place that it's been done. And that there's actually leadership that has come together to bring us all together. I just want to thank you for that.
Yeah, well,
I appreciate that.
Thank you both.
We're walking so that, just as so many other groups have done, we will walk in solidarity with one another to say that we're not ashamed of who we are and who we become.